So in this fourth video, we're going to go ahead and start populating some real content into the system from your railroad. I'll be using just a sample, simple, made-up railroad in the example data that I put in. But obviously, this is where, in your case, you'll put in the towns and industries and so on that are appropriate for your actual railroad.
Now we are ready to go ahead and start populating some content into here, and you probably do want to start from this tab right here, which is the online tab, because we want to start by describing some of the towns and industries and where appropriate, individual spots associated with those industries, because that will then simplify filling out the waybill data. Once it knows those towns and those industries, it will be able to show you those in the dropdown. So let's just make up sort of the towns that we're going to have on this layout. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just imagine that we have a layout that runs east to west, and I've got staging, let's say, on the far east in a town I'm going to call Easton, and some more staging in the far west in a town that I'm going to call Weston. Maybe we'll have a few other towns in between, and some of those towns will have industries, some of those will have interchanges, and some of those will have both. So I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this out. So I'm going to put in Easton, and I'm just going to put the business in there as staging, which does have some special meaning here, and there won't be any spot. And then we'll put in Weston, and we'll call that staging as well. And now let's say you can leave some blank lines in here. That's fine. Makes it a little more readable for me. I typically have I've listed my interchanges separately, whether they're in towns that have other industries or not. We'll have Big Town maybe, and let's suppose this has an interchange with the BNSF interchange. Now, interchange is one word here in the business, in the industry column here, this business receiver column that has a special meaning, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And let's see, Big Town also has a, I don't know, Fred's Meats. And I'm going to actually have Fred's Meats have a couple of different spots here, and when you list industries, you can either do one of several things. You can either list just the industry itself. For example, let's put it here, Big Town. REA, we're going to put a railway express, and I'm not going to list any separate spots for that, because effectively for the REA, any car that comes in can go into any of the spots that we have. But maybe for Fred's Meats, I've got one place that the cattle are brought in, and so I've got my pens, my loading pens, and this is going to have stock cars. And I've also got a dock, and if I can spell correctly, and that's going to have some. I'm going to put reefer cars there, and you can put capacities here. And let's say we have room for three stock cars at the pens, and I have room for 2 reefers at the dock. And let's say the REA has a total of 4 spots. All of these, by the way, I need these capacity. So let's say my staging is 50 cars. Each of those staging yards, let's say my BNSF interchange has room for 11 cars. And you can see as I'm filling it out, it's starting to populate some of these other things in here. Like this is how many waybills it thinks we need to have this industry or spot listed at, and then how many are still open, which in this case, they're all going to be open because I haven't created any waybills yet. Okay, one other. We'll put one other here in Big Town. Let's put, I don't know, uh, Warehouse X, and and again, I don't need to list spots here. Um, a spot will basically be added onto the card with the industry name, so there'll be a comma separating it. So this will be actually showing as Fred's Meats, comma pens, Fred's Meats, comma dock. You could have, door one, door two, building one, building two, that kind of thing. Let's say this warehouse just has one spot. And then let's do another town, small town. Smallton. Smallton has uh, lumber lumber guys company, and they've got again. I'm just going to have them listed without an individual spot. Smallton also has cold storage Inc. And again, maybe this one does have a door one and a door two. Door one has two cars and door two has one car. Door two. And I need two. I'm just going to cut and paste this down here because it's the same. Okay, so now we've got some businesses here. Let's see. Let's maybe do one more town. Let's just do an interchange town. The Middle Junction is the name of the town, and it's let's say it's an interchange with oh, here, let's mix our time periods here. Uh, we'll have PRR and BNSF out there in the same time, and that's got 5 cars of interchange. Okay, so that's enough content in there that we could now start to go put some of this information into our waybill data. But while we're here, maybe I'll just talk quickly about these car types, um, and what they mean. So by and large, these aren't they're not used for the waybills at all. Waybills don't care. They're not going to verify that you only put stock cars in the stock pens. The only reason we have these car types here is to tell you as you're working these through, what was on your mind. Obviously, the pens is going to be pretty obvious that that's going to be stock cars, but if you had door one and door two, and maybe you anticipated that one of those is a place that flat cars come in or gondolas, and another one is used for boxcar loading, unloading, that you could make your notes about that. You can put whatever you want in here, really. So for some of these, I'm just going to say, anything can come in here. Actually, maybe the cold storage will have a reefer going out, let's say. And you also can then specify what sorts of contents. So, here at Fred's Meats, I'm expecting cattle coming in, and only empties going out. Again, this is all just sort of for your own information. Column F and column G and column D are really just used to guide your own thinking around those industries and what they're being used for.
So now we've specified the destinations, or at least an initial set of destinations. Um, and we'll wrap up this video here, but in the next video, then we'll jump into actually populating some of the waybills themselves, leveraging that information that we've just put in around the destinations.